What's going on, everybody? Welcome back, viewer. For today, we've got the round 4, the final round of Swiss of the Pandemonium Premodern bi-weekly championship series number 4. If you haven't seen them, the first 3 rounds that I played at my stationary table are already posted, so there's a link in the description, and you can go right here if you haven't watched the first 3 rounds, because we're playing this deck. It is Grow a Mystic Enforcer, Game, or Super Grow. There's no Togs in this deck. The general game plan of this deck, we want to go fast mana with our Mox Diamonds, pick up our islands with Gush so we can do a one-sided Armageddon, and then win with Quirion Dryads. If this isn't your first video in the series, you kind of know what we're up to. Our opponent is Kevin De Coste, someone you might actually see in the studio soon. He's playing Stasis. I don't have a deck image for you guys, but it's a fairly typical Stasis build. Before we get into the games, 2 things to plug. 1, if you're enjoying these, we do have the championship of this series we're running coming up on the 23rd of this month, if you're watching it the month it was uploaded, which is August, and that's going to be at 1 p.m. at Pandemonium Games and Hobbies. There's the information for you. I put it up on screen. And then if you're maybe not that far north and you want to go further south, next weekend on the 30th, there's the Peach Ball being thrown by the Shared Discovery guys. All the information's on this flyer as well. That's everything I have for you going into the game, so let's go ahead and hop into round number 1. All right, we're going to hop into the first game, and we're going to start as usual with a high roll. I roll 4, Kevin rolls hopefully Snake Eyes, but that Pandemonium symbol is a 6, so he rolls a 7, meaning that Kevin gets to be on the play. This matchup, play draw, is kind of important because it's a Daze mirror match, so that's going to come up. Taking a look at my opener, it looks like we've got a bunch of spells, some more spells. It looks like 1 land with a Mox Diamond. That's not going to... No, it's no lands with a Mox Diamond. We absolutely cannot keep that hand. We can't even pitch cast the diamond. Kevin's also going to Mulligan. It looks like he's just got like no action, and 1 Forsaken City is his only land, which you can't really keep if you're on Stasis. So we're going to take a look at our 6, which is a couple islands, City of Brass, some Permission, Mox Diamond. We're for sure keeping this. If I had to guess what we're supposed to pitch, it's either City of Brass or a basic island. For color purposes, I could see doing an island because I don't have a Gush. I wonder what I go with here. It looks like I'm going with City of Brass, which is defensible. You don't want to lose a bunch of life. Kevin opens on Island straight into Black Vise. We did Mulligan, so we're only going to take 2 off of the Vise. If we did Mulligan, it would have been a full-on bolt. We'll play an island. It's got to be Mox Diamond. We want to get our hand size down as low as possible. We're going to pitch an island to the Mox Diamond, and we have our first turn 1 Meddling Mage. I think I know what we name. I'm pretty sure it's Stasis, but looking at my notes, it sure is Stasis. I think I'm going to write it on the board for you. I probably don't need to erase it. I think every first Meddling Mage, for the most part, will be on Stasis. Kevin's going to drop an island, and I can't imagine he's got very much unless... Nope, I named Stasis, so he can't even cast the Stasis in his hand. So he passes back to me. We're going to take a draw step. It looks like we got access to a Gush, which is pretty nice. We're going to play island, get to combat, attack for 2 with a Meddling Mage, start our little clock. It's a slow clock. We really want a slow clock. We really want a Quirion Dryad, but we don't have that yet. We see an island from Kevin. There's going to be a lot of playing islands and passing the turn from both sides. It's a blue mirror. We draw, go to combat, attack for 2. Kevin takes it and drops down to 16. Then we're going to play a Portent, I imagine targeting ourselves. Take a look at what we see. We got a land, a Q Dryad, and something else. Portent. This could be no, it's a Mystic Enforcer in that pile. I think we're supposed to keep that there. At the end of turn, Kevin's going to Gush by returning 2 islands to his hand, making any Armageddons that I play pretty bad. Armageddon's tricky in this matchup because we're both Gush decks, so Kevin can like thwart or Gush in response to an Armageddon, and that is a pain in my butt. Kevin draws, plays a Forsaken City, and I imagine he just passes here. We've still got that Meddling Mage in play, so Kevin can't even develop a Stasis. I'll untap. We're going to not take any damage because we're at 4. It looks like I moved to take a damage, but it's an excess of 4 for the Black Vise, so we're good to go for this turn. We'll play a Sleight of Hand, my cantrip of choice in this deck. I wanted to try this over Opt for this tournament, and I see Mystic Enforcer and Meddling Mage off the Sleight of Hand. We're taking the Meddling Mage for what I hope are obvious reasons. Go to combat, attack for 2, keep our clock going, take Kevin down to 14. This clock's pretty slow though. You need to develop something else, otherwise Kevin will just eventually find a way to remove our Meddling Mage, and that's going to be problematic. It looks like my fix to that is to start with a Gush. We'll float a blue mana, and Kevin is going to, in response, looks like Chain of Vapor. I think he decides against this Chain of Vapor, because we're in my main phase and I've got a blue floating, so if he taps down to 1 in Chain of Vapors, I can just reestablish the Meddling Mage, and I think Kevin notices that as he goes to actually cast the chain. I'll play an island, and I'm going to use my floating blue mana. It's got to be time for Meddling Mage number 2. This one would name Chain of Vapor, so I imagine Kevin's going to have some type of response for this, because he knows. He knows what the Meddling Mage names are, and it's a counterspell. So we're not going to get that Meddling Mage, unfortunately, because it doesn't look like we have a Daze in our hand, which is a bummer. We're just passing the turn back to Kevin, so Kevin's going to untap his island. Is he going to pitch a card to untap the Forsaken City? He is. It's an island. Kevin's got plenty of islands in his deck, so he doesn't mind losing one to get the mana up front. especially since he probably wants to go Chain of Vapor and Stasis in this turn cycle. He starts with the Chain of Vapor on my Meddling Mage. I still don't have Daze. So it looks like that Meddling Mage is just going back to my hand. Then there it is, first Stasis of the game in the Stasis matchup. I don't think I have any action against this. So we're passing to me and I'm gonna take 3 damage to this first Black Vise because I have 7 cards in hand. And now that Stasis is in play, it's gonna be really hard for me to unload my entire hand. I'll play an Island, and do we have anything to do with any of that mana? Blue is hard to convert at sorcery speed in this deck. Looks like Kevin's just gonna Gush at my end step because I'm not doing anything. Returning 2 islands, I'm gonna Counterspell. Now the interesting thing about this is Kevin's fine with the Counterspell because now Kevin has islands to play every turn, so he can keep feeding his Stasis without pitching cards to the Forsaken City to untap it to pay for the Stasis, which is really good for him. So we have to go to my turn where I have excess of 2, so I'm at 6 cards in hand, so I take 2 life. We're gonna draw an Armageddon, an uncastable spell, play an island, so at least I don't take 3 next turn. And then Kevin's turn, we're not doing anything at end step, we're paying for the Stasis. Tap island, pay for Stasis, play this island, probably pass the turn, then use that island to pay for Stasis on the next turn. This is the Stasis lock if you're not familiar with how the deck works in Premodern. I'll take a draw step. I'll play an island. I've got a diamond. I wonder if I just we play the diamond out here simply, if for no other reason, so we don't die to the Black Vise quite as fast. Kevin looks like he's cool with it, and I think that might be all that I have. Yeah, we pass. Kevin's gonna pay the blue, keep me under the Stasis, take a draw for turn. And I don't know if my hand size is big enough to take any damage, but I will just keep drawing cards, so that Black Vise is huge inevitability. Kevin passes to me, we draw, we take nothing, but we've got 5 in hand, so we're gonna start taking damage to this Black Vise on the following turn. We're gonna pass to Kevin, who looks like he's gonna untap the Forgotten City and pitch a Impulse to it, and then tap it for blue to pay for the Stasis. Take a draw for turn, and then it looks like he's missing land drop, so now he's locked in with me. But he likes doing nothing because the Black Vise makes it so I die when nothing happens, which is bad for us. I pass, Kevin pitches a card to the Forsaken City, taps it. He's going to keep doing that. He'll draw for turn. It's not an island, so it looks like he's going to keep passing. And I have 6 in hand now, so I'm going to go to 8, I think, unless I have something at end step. Nope, I don't. I dropped to 8. This Black Vise is doing its job very, very well. I have 7 in hand, a diamond with nothing to pitch, so I'm not going to play it out. I'm going to pass. Kevin's going to pitch Counterspell to the Forsaken City, untap it, tap it for blue, keep the Stasis train rolling, draw for turn, another Stasis is the pickup, which isn't very good here. He passes to me, I drop to 5, I'm at a 2-turn clock now. I draw planes, this is actually good for me because I get to play Mox Diamond and pitch the planes. Now I'm down to taking only 1 off the Stasis, and that's if I don't play this Armageddon. Kevin might need to fight over this Armageddon, and he does, he dazes it. I simply don't have a follow-up. I kind of have to play into it there because I'm on a 2-turn clock. Kevin's going to untap the Forsaken City. He's going to pitch what looks like a Portent to it, tap it for blue, activate or pay for the Stasis, play an island so he can pay for the Stasis next turn without pitching a card. I drop to a low life total, looks like 4 because I have, nope, looks like I didn't take anything there because I only had 4 in hand. Either that or I took 1, I kind of missed it, but that's okay. Kevin's going to pay for Stasis, take a draw step. He found another Forsaken City, which is just as good as an island at this point. I guess it's not quite as good as an island because I just realized he has a thwart in his hand, which means we're super dead. I'm going to take a draw for turn, drop down to 2, pass to Kevin. Kevin's going to pay for Stasis, draw, and I drop my hand. We got game 1. We're going to head into game 2. Oh, wait. Yeah, he shows me his hand of all permission. Yeah, we got wrecked that game. All right, it's sideboarding time. We're going to need some tools in this matchup, I think. And I went ahead and took notes on it so I know exactly what I did. We're going to be bringing in this Stasis matchup, 2 copies of Annul because Stasis is an enchantment, 1 copy of Red Elemental Blast because everything but Black Vise is a blue spell, and then 2 copies of Disenchant because Stasis is an enchantment. We're going to be cutting 4 swords to Plowshares because Kevin does not play a single creature in a 75, and we're going to take out one of our Mystic Enforcers because it's a big 4-drop that can win the game. It's going to be pretty difficult to resolve into a deck full of Dazes, Thwarts, Counterspells, and Arcane Denials, so we're going to pick our battles on this one. That's everything you got to know about sideboarding. Let's get into round 2, where I will be on the play. All right, getting into round 2, I'm going to be taking the play. I'm down a card on the play, so Black Vise actually hurts a little bit worse, or a little bit less. So we're going to use the normal knowledge of be on the play, regardless of what deck you're playing and what matchup, unless you're playing some weird vintage deck. And our opener looks really, really good. We've got multiple lands, Mox Diamond. It looks like we've got a Ray of Revelation in our hand as well, which is awesome. So we're going to play out an island. We're going to play out a Mox Diamond, pitch the City of Brass, which my current self agrees with my past self. I'll Sleight of Hand, and what do we see? Looks like Armageddon Disenchant. I might be tempted to take the Armageddon here, but the Disenchant's good too, but I've already got Ray of Revelation. So if I take the Armageddon, I can set up, and I do take Armageddon. I can set up for a really cool mid-game play with the Armageddon. Kevin's just going to play an island, and I imagine just pass right back. I'll take a draw step. Do we find our land? We do. We play an island. Are we doing anything with our mana, or are we going to use our ice? We're going to pass. We've got an ice in hand, so we might try to tap Kevin down. Kevin plays an island, and then he drops a black vise. I don't think we interact with this ever. I think we just try to keep our hand size managed instead of use a permission on the black vise. At end step, we will ice down his current island, meaning I think we're going to try to make a move next turn, and maybe even play around Daze if we find the land drop. It depends on what our move is. We drew a Meddling Mage, so it looks like we're just going to resolve it. We have one Meddling Mage, and we're going to name Shocker. It's going to be Stasis. The first Meddling Mage, 95% of the time in this matchup, will name Stasis. Then we'll tap for a blue, and we are going to play a Portent targeting me. Probably just looking for land drop number 4, because we want to convert a Armageddon at some point in this game. And we see Annul, Counterspell, plus Mox Diamond. Not the greatest. I am going to shuffle. I think it's, I'm pretty happy with that play. It's a little bit, it takes a little bit of discipline to shuffle away that many good cards in the matchup, but this matchup, land drops matter a lot. Kevin draws and plays an island. And then I have to imagine he's going to pass. I don't think you Chain of Vapor the Meddling Mage at sorcery speed if you can't convert the Stasis right then. And that plays into Daze. I'll play a Flooded Strand. Looks like we're going to combat, and we're dealing our first bit of damage. Kevin drops down to 18. And then I've got nothing else. Kevin takes a draw step. Looks like Kevin's just going to play an island. And then I imagine he's passing back because I'm shields up. I haven't tapped any mana. So I'll untap my Meddling Mage, draw a card for turn, probably head straight into combat. I wonder if there's no reason to do anything pre-combat, so we swing in for 2. Then are we even going to develop this plains, or are we going to try to leverage Armageddon? We keep the plains in hand. We're going to try to leverage an Armageddon here. Kevin taps for 2, and he plays a Gush, floating 2 blue mana. Very cool. Kevin's going to draw 2 cards. He's going to have less lands, meaning that Armageddon's less good for me. He's also playing a Chain of Vapor. I could interact with this Chain of Vapor. It's probably more correct to just let it resolve, which I do, because I've got Ray of Revelation in my hand, so I'm not super stressed about Stasis, because Kevin just went down on land, so he's going to have way less opportunity to interact with my interaction for Stasis. And that's if Kevin even has a Stasis. I can't quite see it in his hand. He plays Forsaken City, and then where are we going? Is it time? He pitches an island to hand size. He's got to discard to hand size because of that Gush. I'm going to take some pain. Looks like exactly 1 pains to the Black Vise. And then at this point, I know Kevin's got a billion lands in hand, so I play the basic plains. And then it might just be time to redeploy the Meddling Mage. I've got 2 Dazes in my hand, and he counterspells the Meddling Mage immediately. And now I have to figure out if I'm going to interact. I am. I counterspell the counterspell. Is Kevin going to... Oh, I remember this. Maybe I'll let the audio play through. He Dazes, but I have a fetch land.
How bad does Daddy want it?
Bad enough to fetch. And yeah, I do care enough about the Daze to fetch, get the Flooded Strand, pay for it with the island, name Stasis. Very cool. And then we pass the turn. Kevin draws for turn, plays an island, and we're ahead now. You know, we just got we converted our counterspell here. We got a Meddling Mage back in play. 1 Chain of Vapor's already been used, so I would say scoreboard, we're ahead. We probably have the advantage at this point. We've also got a tiny little clock going with our Chris Pakula. Nothing else in. All right, then we're going to tap, and we're going to actually cast Armageddon. Kevin's going to Arcane Denial the Armageddon. I'm going to Daze. Do I have another Daze in hand? Kevin plays for Daze. I Daze again. That's awesome. So the Armageddon resolves. I wouldn't imagine in a million years, if you ask me, does Armageddon resolve in Stasis? I'd just say no. I just want to like make them use an interaction on it, but it resolved there, which is really good for me. Kevin goes Island Go. I draw. We're probably just swinging in for 2. Bring Kevin down to 12, play an island. We're like heavily advantaged now. Kevin plays a second island. We'll untap, take a draw for turn. We're moving quicker now because Stasis games take a long time to finish. I attack with Meddling Mage. Kevin takes. I play an island. I tap for 2. I play a second Meddling Mage. See if Kevin has anything to say about it. And does he? It looks like he's going with an Arcane Denial, and I have a counterspell in my hand. It's got to be correct to just fire it off here, right? Let's see. Yep, tapping 2. Counterspell. Yep. And he does not have a Daze to fight it, so it looks like we're going to be resolving a second Chris Pakula or Meddling Mage, and it's going to be on Chain of Vapor if I had to take a random guess. Kevin's going to Portent. I'm going to write my card down. It says Chain, so that is Chain of Vapor. And Kevin's going to shuffle 3 islands off of his Portent. That's a pretty bad Portent pile. Luckily, it lets you shuffle. Then does he have anything else in the main phase? Nope, he passes. I untap. Kevin draws in my upkeep. Then I draw for turn. My clock is doubled. I have 2 Meddling Mages, so I attack for 4. Kevin drops down to 6, so we got a 2-turn clock going here. And I try to pass, but Kevin plays Gush. Now, Kevin's bottlenecked on mana severely now, so I'm not sure how he's supposed to come back from this position. He draws for turn. He can play an island. He can't play Stasis. None of his money spells are an option, and he's showing me his hand, which is 2 Forsaken Cities, and it looks like 5 islands. So I believe this is a pseudo concession, but I think we go through the motions of the game. Yep, 7 lands. He passes to me. I untap. I draw. I beam in for 1, 2, 3, 4. Kevin drops down to 2, and we pass. Does Kevin draw the out? That is a Daze. Kevin draws a Daze. So I believe that's the game. He's going to play Forsaken City. He's going to tap 2. Can't cast that Daze. Oh, he's going to play a fake morph card. Oh, I remember when we were actually playing, he's like, look at the card I drew to save me from this spot. It was a Daze that wasn't very good. We're going into game number 3, where Kevin actually gets to be on the play. And from what I remember, this one is super grindy. I mean, you can see the length of the video. This is by a good amount the longest game out of all the games that we played. Looking at my opener, it looks pretty, it looks a little landlight. I'm not sure if we're keeping this. I might be mulliganing this hand because it's like powered by City of Brass. Yeah, that's not quite good enough. It's 2 City of Brasses. My life total actually matters in this matchup, weirdly enough. Black Vise is the hell of a clock. So we're gonna go to 6. Kevin likes his 7, which I'm not excited about. Let's look at this hand. I see multiple lands. I see, oh God, I see just lands. I mean, I think we're keeping it, but this matchup goes so slow that it might be fine. It looks like I wanna pitch Undiscovered Paradise, but I think better, thank goodness, I think better of it. I pitch an island. Undiscovered Paradise actually makes any color of mana and doesn't hurt me. Kevin goes island go. I'm gonna go island, and then I'm not gonna develop the diamond just yet. Kevin goes second island, pass to me, so I draw, and that was a Mystic Enforcer, I think. Either that or a Quirion Dryad, I can't quite tell. We're gonna play an island. Is it time to get that diamond into play? It is. Diamond, and then we'll see if Kevin has anything to say about it. He's going to... He could Counterspell, he could also Impulse. He's gonna Impulse in response. The Pandemonium Premodern top 8 Impulse that he won at one of our events. He's gonna look at the top 4, and I wonder if we can see what he gets. It looks like Gush. Yep, he's taking a Gush. That's the best option here. And then I get my diamond, so I pitch a Flooded Strand and just pass the turn. Kevin's going to... He set the card down on the table like he was gonna Gush, but that would take him to 0 lands, which would be really bad. So he's just gonna play out an island, and I imagine he's gonna pass. Maybe he's got like a cantrip. And it's a Black Vise. It's not even a cantrip. He's just like, let's get the clock going, which is totally reasonable. I do have 4 in hand, so I don't take any pain. I'll play an island as my land for turn. And we're doing it. We're both playing islands and passing the turn at each other. And this game tends to go like this for a pretty long period of time. Let me know how you guys feel about this matchup. I want to include more Stasis in the channel, but Stasis does have a habit of just making the games into land go. I'm not sure how into that people are going to be, but I play Undiscovered Paradise. And do I make a move yet? Nope, my hand's a little bit clunky. It's like Fire Ice, Mystic Enforcer, bunch of stuff. And then Kevin's going to draw and probably play a 5th island and probably just pass the turn back to me. That's exactly what happens. We take a draw step. So we're going to tap for 1, 2. And there it is, Quirion Dryad. Quirion Dryad is something we haven't seen up to this point, but Kevin knows better. He's going to counterspell. Kevin's got limited ways to get creatures out of play. And if that Dryad like resolves and he needs to like also contend with Meddling Mages, that's going to be problematic. He gushes, he's going to draw 2, and he does bounce 2 islands. So him walking back lands makes me feel kind of good, because that means I'll be able to leverage permission a little bit better. Kevin does not know how few permission spells I have at this point, and he resolves a Powder Keg, which must have been off the top. Otherwise, he probably would have just let the Quirion Dryad go. Then I'm going to untap 2 and draw for turn. We get a City of Brass, it looks like. Now, there's an Armageddon in my hand, so I'm not even sure if I play it or if I do, whether I was supposed to or not. I don't. I pass to Kevin. He untaps. That Powder Keg is going to 1. I imagine it's going to go to 2 fuse counters and just stay there for the entire game. Kevin plays an island and passes back to me. And do I have anything on end step? Because I could convert an ice here. I don't. I'm just going to take some pain to that Black Vise, draw a card for turn. And because of the Black Vise, I probably need to get some lands out of my hand. I'll start with a Portent, though. We'll look at the top 3. What do we see? We've got Annul, land, Quirion Dryad. We're going to keep that on top. If I shuffle that, I'm insane. And yeah, we keep it right where it is. Then we'll play Flooded Strand to get down on hand size so we don't just die to this Black Vise super quickly. We pass. Both Kevin and I draw because I have a delayed Portent trigger. And then Kevin rolls up his Powder Keg to 2, right where it belongs. And then he plays an island, and I imagine, yeah, he just passes it to me. Do I have anything on end step? There's like some argument to eventually convert Fire Ice at end step to try to get a critical mass of of permission, but I don't think we're at that point in the game yet. I'll tap for 2, and there's a Quirion Dryad. Kevin's probably, yeah, he lets this go because he's got a Powder Keg that wants to crack on 2 to beat up on Meddling Mages, and Quirion Dryad will be collected as like side damage just from that interaction, because they're all 2-drops. As collateral damage, I should say. And then he plays an island out. Are we doing any action spells, or are we just like happy with the status quo of the game? Looks like he's totally stoked to just keep doing this for as long as possible. So while on tap, I'm the one on the clock. I'm going to drop down to 17 because I have 5 in hand. Take a draw for turn, and it looks like we're going to combat. Just beat in for 1, deal my first point of the game. Play Flooded Strand, and I think that's probably it. I think we might be looking at another... I played these games about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, but from what I can remember, which isn't much, I think this might become an Armageddon game. Kevin has decided he played an island, but then took it back because I think Kevin's picked up on the fact that I might be trying to play an Armageddon game. So he passes to me. We're going to take 2 because I have 6 in hand, and then we're going to draw for turn, and that looks like it was a Gush. Play City of Brass to keep trying to stay as under the Black Vise as we possibly can. Attack for 1, bring Kevin down to, looks like 18, and then we'll pass to him. He's super stoked to just draw a card, play a land if he has it. But no, maybe not play a land if he has it. He probably doesn't want to play into my Armageddon. He's going to Chain of Vapor my Quirion Dryad. Oh, he has 8 in hand. That's why he's doing that. He doesn't want to go to discard, which I think is completely reasonable. I could copy it here and hit the Powder Keg, but Kevin would love it if I just like went down a resource and then he was able to, on his turn, just replay the Powder Keg. So we're not going to fall for that. We're just going to go to my turn where I'm going to take some pain off of the Black Vise, 2 to be exact, because I've got 6 in hand. And then I'll draw for turn, tap for 2, redeploy the Quirion Dryad and see if Kevin has anything to say about it. He does. He realizes that the Quirion Dryad can get out of hand really quickly, and he doesn't want to have to use the keg on it. So I actually like converting the Arcane Denial there and just putting more cards in my hand. I could decline to draw the cards. Have you seen my channels in my video? I'm not going to say no to drawing 2 cards. So we hit the delayed trigger off the Arcane Denial. Kevin on taps, and he's got plenty of land still. He's going to play out an island now. Looks like he's either given up on playing around Armageddon, or looking at his hand, he has enough tools if Armageddon tries to resolve. At the end of his turn, I will finally crack out that ice, tapping down an island, which brings him to 7, which that's still a lot of islands. I think I just wanted to convert it and try to see if I could like collect some permission, because I think where my head's at right now is we need to try to resolve a Armageddon. Oh, wow. I just realized how many cards I have in my hand after drawing off the Arcane Denial. So I take 4 from the Black Vise because I had 8 cards in hand. Then we're going to tap for 2. And then we're going to, looks like I'm going to play into the Black Vise even more. We're going to Gush. And I put the islands in the graveyard, maybe thinking that I'm going to go to discard anyway, but I think we catch it. I think Chris Shavers actually walks by and goes, why are they in your graveyard? So hopefully we get to that in a second, but I'll use a blue for my floating mana to cast Portent. And let's look at the top. I got to be hitting my deck at this point. What do we see? Counterspell, land. That's a good pile. I just want more permission at this point anyway, right? And then is this the turn I pick the fight? I think I'm supposed to pick a fight over Armageddon here. Probably not going to resolve, but I want to deplete Kevin's resources. Yeah, it looks like we're tapping for 1, 2, 3. Nope, just 1, 2. Oh, I think we're going to fetch. Yeah, we're going to fetch twice first. That way we can't get like caught up on the stack. We also probably want to see how many lands are left in our deck, because if we Armageddon here, we've already got a ton of lands in play and our deck only plays 18 of those things. So we probably need the information and probably just want to have the mana ready because there's about to be a fight, I think. We have 3 mana floating. There's the Mox Diamond, probably making white. And here comes, it's pulled to the front of my hand. You can't see it because I'm in front of it, but yeah, there it is, the Armageddon. Kevin probably needs to pick a fight here, and he has Thwart. And this is a big deal, because even if the Armageddon resolves now, Kevin just secured 3 land drops, which it's tempo negative for him, but he doesn't get like screwed out of the game or anything. He's got 2 floating because he floated mana first, so I counterspell the Thwart. And now, are we going to get into a counter war? Looks like he's pulled a Daze to the front of his hand, just trying to tap me out. Maybe he's going to Daze. I'll pay for it without losing life because I'm underneath a Black Vise with my Undiscovered Paradise. And then Kevin has another Daze, so he wants me to lose the life from the City of Brass, and I think I have to do it here. He just hard pays for this one instead of bouncing an island to his hand. I pay for it, dropping to 7, and then does Kevin have any further responses? Looks like no, it's going to clean up all the lands. So we've reset Kevin's board, and then I believe I've already played a land, but if I have another diamond, that'll be pretty good. That'll let me lose some of the cards in my hand at least. And yeah, we do have a diamond, pitching an island. The amount of lands in my, that I have are available to me have to be so low now. And we're going to pass to Kevin, who's going to untap, leave the keg at 2. I'm going to draw, he's going to draw because of the delayed Portent trigger. Kevin plays island and Black Vise. Oh, we have the Annul, thank God. Black Vise would have killed us there easily because I have a full grip. So if I couldn't interact there, we would have taken, I guess it would only be 6, but I'm functionally dead. We draw for turn. We're going to play an island, and now I feel pretty good about our position in this game. We're still under a Black Vise, but Kevin's got like very little mana to work with. We've got perfect mana, and then we see off of the Portent, Counterspell Armageddon. We shuffle that, which I kind of think I understand, because we're looking for a way to end the game now that we've slowed the game down so much, and we need more mana sources to be able to actually, convert our win condition and protect it. So Kevin draws. He's going to play probably just an island, right? Yeah, an island. He does have the Forsaken City in hand, but there's no Stasis in play, so I wouldn't expose it until he has to. End of his turn, I'm going to cast Ice, tapping down an island. This is huge. This means maybe I want to convert my Mystic Enforcer just right now, and that would be pretty good for me. It resolves, so I draw a card as an island. So we've got our land drop for next turn secured, which is great. I'm going down to 3 from the Black Vise, though, which is really scary. We're going to play an island. Do we have another diamond? We've got another diamond. Now we can duck underneath the Vise, which is really good. Do we just drop the Mystic Enforcer here? Well, we're going to Sleight of Hand first, I guess. What do we see? It's a Dryad and a Meddling Mage. We just take Meddling Mage here, I have to assume. Yep. Just name Stasis, be happy. And then are we going to play the Meddling Mage to get him to crack the powder keg? I'd have to imagine so. Yep, Meddling Mage. I won't even look at my notes. I'm supposed to name Stasis here. I just better have named Stasis. I'm sure I'll put it on the board in a second. And then we are passing and writing Stasis on the board. Yep, that's exactly what we name. Then we're going over to Kevin's turn. Kevin's going to untap. He doesn't need to crack the powder keg yet. It's just in play. He knows I don't play Stifle, so it's safe to just leave it there. And then Kevin, he drew another Black Vise, which is a little bit spooky, but I've only got 3 in hand, so it won't deal any damage. He does play the Black Vise, but again, I've only got 3 in hand, so we're not sweating that yet. And then it looks like he's got a Chain of Vapor, so he's got a lot of action still. This game's not quite over. I'm going to take a draw step, and we found a City of Brass, which I could play it, I could not play it. I don't remember exactly what I do. I'm going to attack for 2. Kevin realizes he has time because some of the dice are removed, but he's at 16. He's not sweating it. I'll play City of Brass, and is it time to try to resolve Mystic Enforcer? It is. There's Mystic Enforcer. Kevin does have Counterspell plus Chain of Vapor, but I've got a Red Blast, so he counterspells. Do we just Red Blast here? Or do we Daze because he tapped out? Oh, we Daze. That's so good. We're able to Daze the Red Blast. Now it feels like we're just for sure going to win this game, but we'll see. We pass to Kevin. He untaps, and he pitches a card to the Forsaken City. Interesting. I can't think of what he'd want to do on 4 mana, so maybe he was supposed to keep the card. It's kind of hard there. Kevin, if you watch this video, let us know why you untapped the Forsaken City. Because I'm just interested and curious. I'm going to go to combat. I'm going to attack for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 because I'm thresholded. So that's going to prompt a response from Kevin. He Chain of Vapors my Mystic Enforcer. I could Red Blast this. It's probably more correct to, do what I do. I let it go back to my hand. Then I'm going to play the Mystic Enforcer and then have Red Blast up. He cracks the keg. There goes my Meddling Mage. But now I redeploy Mystic Enforcer and I have Red Blast in my hand. So it's going to be really difficult for Kevin to come back into this, I think. I got my top decks were quite lucky for me. And I'm starting to realize how bad Kevin's flooding. He's drawn like most of his lands at this point. So that's a little bit unlucky too, unfortunately. But we're going to leverage that. We attack for 6 with a Thresholded Mystic Enforcer, cast Sleight of Hand. Look at those top 2 cards. One of them's a Counterspell, one's a Gush. At this point, with our card advantage and our clock, we probably just take the Counterspell, which is exactly what we do. And then are we going to Sleight of Hand? Because we have a Sleight of Hand. We Sleight of Hand because we have a Sleight of Hand. We're going to look at the top 2 and we see, I can't quite see what I'm taking here. It looks like a Disenchant. So now we're like super insulated and we're still ducked underneath those Black Vises, which is just so insane for us. I'd be surprised if Kevin could maneuver his way out of this. He draws another island, which is like really bad. I think we've seen about 2/3 of Kevin's mana base just in this game 3. We're going to untap. We're going to take no damage because there's 3 in hand. We draw. We attack for 6. Kevin's going to drop to 4. And our hand is Counterspell, Red Blast, Armageddon, Disenchant. Kevin takes a draw for turn. And does he have a way out? I think he drew a land. It's an island. That's tough. Kevin just flooded out so bad. This game was actually very... Oh, we're not done. He drew a Gush. The island was already in his hand. So there might be more magic to be played yet. Oh, but no, I Pyroblast the Gush knowing there's only 1 mystery card in his hand and I have a Counterspell. Nope, that locks it up. Unfortunately for Kevin, he flooded out and I got just a little bit too lucky for him to be able to take me out. But hopefully you enjoyed that. Now some news. This was very fun. I enjoyed doing this. I intend to do it with our championship that's coming up on the 23rd, and that's open. Some of us have buys on round 1 because there was a leaderboard, and I'm actually recording. I have a round 1 buy, but I'm going to be recording a exhibition match with Ryan Gates because there's a plaque that actually my opponent from this round made, because our pre-modern community is amazing. There's plaques for 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place in the event, but there's also a plaque for the points leader. Ryan Gates and I are tied, so we are going to be playing an exhibition match, and the winner, that's the tiebreaker, and I'll post that up here as well. But if you're interested in more of these, we do, I guess I'm just going to spoil it here. I'm 3-1, and we cut to top 2 because of the amount of events that were happening in the room that day. I did make it. I'm not going to tell you who my opponent was, but I made it. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do this. So let me know what you think after the fact. I'm not going to release the final event, like the finals of this as its own video. I'm going to supercut the entire tournament together and cut out all the filler in between of me talking and stuff and just make it more streamlined. And then have the finals at the end of that. And I'll leave timestamps in the description. That way, if you've already watched all the videos and don't want to watch the whole tournament, you can skip right to the finals. But let me know if you're interested in that, because I really want to try that. But that's all I have for you today. Come to our event if you're anywhere in Michigan. Go to the Peach Bowl if you're anywhere near Georgia. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I will see you next time.